What's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Maley for MatthewMaley.com. Well, I don't have a couch this week, but I got a pretty cool looking chair, so let's do another weekly movie review. How about that? So this week I checked out a flick that I actually had heard really solid things about. My cousin checked it out, thought it was pretty cool, and said it was definitely not what you were expecting. So I like movies that, aren't what I'm expecting. Those are my favorite type of movies. So, took his word for it, and even though I'm not big into horror flicks, well, I'm alright with horror flicks, I just don't like scary movies, if that makes sense. I'm fine with like zombie, or like slasher, or murder type things, but I don't do ghosts, spirits, demons, devils, any of that stuff. That's the stuff that messes with me. So, since this didn't fall completely in that vein, according to him, I figured I'd check it out. So I'm speaking of Cabin in the Woods. Which was actually written partially by Joss Whedon, who, as you guys know, just did the amazing Avengers. And really, anything that has anything to do with him, I'm sold on. So, it ended up also starring, from Avengers, Chris Hemsworth, the wonderful Thor. What was her name? I'm sorry, Kristen Connolly, who I wasn't really familiar with her, but her face looked familiar. I couldn't remember what she'd been in. Anna Hutchison, Jesse Williams, who's been in a few other things, and I can't remember what I've seen him in, but I liked him in it. I thought he did a good job, as well as two great roles of Richard Jenkins, who is best known as the father in Step Brothers, and Bradley Whitford, who is best known as Billy Madison's main antagonist in the movie Billy Madison, the old Adam Sandler movie. Plus, a role of Brian White, who I always really liked for when he was on The Shield. I loved him in The Shield. He wasn't there for very long, but I loved him in it. I thought he added tons to the show, and really wish that they would have found a way to kind of work him into it a little bit more. He also was in The Family Stone, which I know kind of corny, but I actually really liked The Family Stone. I actually thought it was really well done. For a kind of corny style, flick, I thought he did a good job with it, personally. So, that's just me. Maybe it is just me. I don't know. Some people might love it, some people might hate it, but I thought it was pretty good. So, the basic setup of the movie is this group of college kids heads out to this cabin in the woods to have a great weekend adventure. And you have all the stereotypes of every horror movie ever. You have the jock, you have the slutty ditzy cheerleader, you have the prudish virgin, the nerdy guy, and then the stoner. Literally every single stereotype, which they actually poke fun at. That's what I liked about it, is that this wasn't they knew what they were doing was a joke. It was really almost a parody film, honestly. And it was very funny for that reason. But there's definitely a lot more than meets the eye with the movie. And in fact, without giving too much away, the house is being controlled by this group of experts and scientists and, ridiculously smart people. And like I said, I don't want to give too much away, but the people being brought to the house are brought for a specific reason. And they essentially, based on their actions, decide themselves inadvertently what, I don't want to say unhappiness, but what nightmare, to quote them, they bring to life, if you will. And the funniest part, the best parts of the movie, in my opinion, are after they leave the cabin. Without saying anything more, I don't want to give anything away, but in my opinion, those were the best parts of the movie, was after. And there was some pure comedy in it, and it goes in such a direction out of left field for like the last quarter of the movie. There were times where I was just like, what am I watching? But in a good way. Everything seems it's a very light-hearted style of horror film, if that's even possible. You know, it pokes fun at itself very, very well. So I was impressed with that. I thought they did a good job with that, and it really was an entertaining flick. They do have some of the, you know, loud music, jump out at you type of scary stuff, which I don't really like. I think that if it's a scary movie, you can make it scary on other things. You don't need to rely on cheap, you know, fear. But sadly, they do some of that, which I just don't like it because I'm a sissy and I don't like things that jump out at me. But overall, I really felt that it was entertaining. A lot of the very campy, corny dialogue works so well because it's supposed to be so campy and corny. And there are some scenes that, like, you swear it's ripped out of every single horror film ever. And it's definitely some funny things that happen. So overall, I thought it was a very entertaining flick, very bloody. So you know this is a true horror film. There are gallons upon gallons of blood spilled. So realize that before you go in, and don't take your children don't rent it, you know, with your children. Let's just say that. So at the end of the day, I definitely think it was worth seeing. I think it was definitely entertaining. I'm giving it a good 4 stars. Wasn't a great movie, but it was definitely a good movie, and it was a refreshing addition to the horror genre, in my opinion. And it actually took things from a different perspective and really flipped it. There's a scene kind of early on where this very creepy guy is talking to the 2 scientists, and the comedy of it is truly hilarious. Some of I think the funniest moments were from the scientist standpoint, from the controller standpoint. Those are some of the best moments. And the way that they can control what happens in the house, and the house itself in a lot of ways, and even the outlying areas in the woods is very funny. And really kind of cool, honestly. It would suck if I was in that house, but other than that, it would be kind of cool. So overall, I definitely recommend you check it out if you're a fan of the horror genre. Or if you just want an entertaining, fun movie, definitely check it out. So let me know what you guys think. Did you like Cabin in the Woods? Did you love it? Did you hate it? I always want to know. That's why I do these, to hear back from you guys. So let me know what you guys think. In my opinion, it was a 4-star movie. Definitely worth checking out. It is going to fall into the category of 4-star, but I don't own. I really did like it, but it's not one that I'm going to buy. Partly because Nino already bought it. But also because it's just not, I don't see much rewatchability with it. I'd watch it again if it was with somebody who had never seen it, but it's not a movie that you're going to just be like, oh, hey, you know what, let's go watch Cabin in the Woods, in my opinion. Maybe a more horror buff would, but for me, it just doesn't do that. So overall, still a very good movie, still worth checking. It's still a good movie, definitely worth checking out. So let me know what you guys think about it. And as always, you can drop a comment either on MatthewMailey.com or on any of the other ways that you can get a hold of me. But until the next video, I'm officially signing off. So I hope everybody has a great weekend, and don't get into too much trouble out there with whatever you're doing. So thank you again for checking out my videos, and I'll catch you on the next flick. As always, I'm Matthew Mailey. This is MatthewMailey.com. You can check out the rest of my videos on MatthewMailey.com, or you can check them out directly on YouTube. Just search for Matthew Mailey Poker. You can like them, you can comment on them, you can subscribe to my channel. You can also check me out on Facebook. I post all of my videos on Facebook as well as on my big bulletin posts. So follow me there. I am, again, at Matthew Mailey Poker, so just search for that. You can also follow your boy on Twitter. I am always tweeting, usually dumb stuff, and retweeting and tweeting and retweeting, but it's still fun. So follow me on there. I am at Matthew Mailey. And finally, I am brand new to it. I only have like a couple pictures on there, but I'm trying. You can follow your boy on Instagram. I am at Matthew Mailey Poker, and I'm always posting up new pictures, and usually shoe and poker and Vegas pictures, but other than that, sometimes I'll put something else up there. So stay tuned to Instagram as well. And until the next video, I'm officially signing off. Time to go start the weekend off right. Peace, y'all.